Welcome back to our session, sir. Today is going to be really important because we're going to be discussing bachelor studies for free in Germany. That means we're going to be discussing public universities. So really thankful for your time today.
Thank you, Jigyasa, for inviting me once again. And I'm very excited for today's session because I believe a lot of people are looking for a second episode for bachelor degree in Germany, and that too free of cost.
With my first question. So when a student wants to look at Germany for their studies, they often ask for free education in bachelors in public universities. So what is the stigma around free education? Is it really free, and how can we avail that?
So I'll split both the parts individually, and the audience have to evaluate each pathway or each entry point individually. Both of them have their pros and cons, right? So let's say if some student who has passed class 12 in India and he wants to go to Germany to do a bachelor degree, of course he has to do a 13th year of education. This everybody knows today. There is no hidden secret. So everybody knows that I have to do 13th year, which is called as foundation year, student collegium, or you can also say freshman program. They all mean the same thing. 1 year additional as a pre-bachelor. I'll make it simple words, right? So this 13th year has to be done if you want to study in public university. Now, once you have done this 13th year, you can go for your bachelor degrees. This concept is very simple. So 10 plus 2 plus 1 is equals to bachelor degree admission. 10 plus 3-year diploma. You cannot study in public university in Germany. Okay. So there are countries like Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Poland. They accept 10 plus 3 system. Germany public universities do not accept 10 plus 3 because there are some students who have done 10th from India. They got 3-year polytechnic diploma. Technically, they can get second-year admission in India, but they think that they can also qualify for Germany. No, they don't qualify. Okay. Of course, they qualify for private universities, but those universities don't give engineering programs. And if somebody has got a polytechnic diploma, I believe he will most likely preferring for engineering programs. For this kind of students, not the next episode, but probably the episode after this, the 4th episode, I will also share there is one public university which basically allows 10 plus 3 students to come to Germany and study a bachelor degree in engineering. Again, I'm saying it's only one university and not anybody else. So coming back to the our bachelor degree entry requirements. So students have to have 13th year of education, and German track and English track are 2 tracks available they can choose from.
Alright, so let's begin with the English track. So if a student wants to avail their education in English at bachelor's level, how can they go about the admissions?
Okay, so as you already said about English track, let's just explore the English track first. So let's say I'm a 10 plus 2 student and I want to go to Germany to do my bachelor's. As we already discussed, the 13 is required. So I need this first year. This first year I have to do in any university. So I have multiple options. So let's say I go to German university, German public universities who are offering this English taught programs. There are programs, you can go online, you can search online programs, but you need to have this 13, they don't provide the 13th year. So if you go online, you'll see there are multiple universities providing you bachelor degree in mechanical engineering or electrical engineering, but the same university is not providing you this 13th year, the freshman year, right? So how will you do it? So technically, their admission requirement is you have to do your 10 plus 2 plus your 1 year bachelor degree from somewhere in the similar field. So let's suppose, say, I'll give you just an example. Let's say TU Munich, I'm saying if they're running a program, in a bachelor degree program, they require that you should have got a 1 year program only done from India. So the question is, I will take admission in India, I will do my BTech first year, and once I've done my BTech first year, on papers you qualify because you have 13th year of education also. But a lot of students say, okay, do I have to do 13th year only in India? Or should I do it? No. So in India, you can do it. It's one of the options. Option number 2, you find a one-year program in any of the European universities. You do your first year there, or you find a foundation program in any other university again. But you have to do 13th year for sure, and that too in the field of engineering only. So you cannot do a BBA first year after 10 plus 2 and apply for an engineering degree in Germany. It has to be aligned with the next studies. So if you want to do, let's suppose if you are a commerce graduate student, if you have done plus 2 with 12th with commerce, you actually will do a first year of BBA. And then you are qualifying because you have done the 13th year. And I'm right now talking only about English taught programs. I'm not talking about German taught programs. I'm not talking about anything else. It's a very simple formula you can apply. And a lot of people ask me, if I do from India and if I do from Europe, which is better? See, in India, when you do it from India, there is no guaranteed admissions thing in English taught programs. But because in the bachelor's level, you will see there's a good chances of getting admission, because if some student started his engineering in India, I have seen very less students who actually drop out from the first year and then they go to Germany. So technically speaking, entry into a German university in an English taught program is easier as compared to master degrees, because not many students applied directly. Imagine you got a BTech in electronics in India. You are studying in IP university. Now you've done your first year. How many students are actually dropping the first year to go to Germany? Very less. Similarly, because people think, I've already done my first year, let me do my 3 more years here and then I go for masters. But if you are very sure that you want to go to Germany only, and you are very clear about your thoughts, you're very clear about your aim and the program you want to study, if it's available, then I would recommend you do your 1 year in European Union, because when you do the first year in European Union, you get 60 credit points in the first year, because each year is 60 points. Sometimes when they evaluate your application, so let's suppose say a German university evaluating your application for bachelor degree, they will say you have got your 12th class, you've got your first year from IP university, and then they will evaluate you. Sometimes they do not give, again I'm saying sometime, the same weightage as compared to 60 ECTS. Whereas if you have done from European Union, each year is 60 ECTS, because all the European Union education works on a linear process. So under that calculation, every 1 year is equivalent to 60 ECTS. So getting into a German university in an English taught program, by doing a 1 year additional, you can do it in India, you can do it in Germany, you can do it in European Union, it's up to you. But my suggestion is do it in European Union or do it in Germany as a foundation, because so if you do it as a foundation year, it's called as foundation year. So, but if you do it as a bachelor, it will be still considered as foundation. So you go to Germany, you give your 1 year, you do, let's suppose say some university says I'm giving you foundation program, you do the foundation program with them, but that's going to cost you 10,000 euros. Similarly, you go to Lithuania, Latvia, Poland, you do your 1 year, that's going to cost you 3,000 to 4,000 euros. So you do the first year and then you take a transfer. Because in the end, what matters is, do you have IELTS 6.0? That's what is required. Do you have 13 years of education? Because we have done it, right? And do you have class 12 with the right marks? Now, some people say, okay, can I get exemption for this 13th year? Answer is yes. The ruling says that if you have cleared IIT mains, if you have a ranking in IIT mains, you can actually get admission into German university without the foundation year for sure. You can apply. But if you have cleared IIT mains, how many people are actually willing to leave IIT for German university, right? So this is where the difference comes in. So I think for English taught programs, students should be very clear about that they need to have 1 year, and that 1 year can be done in multiple places, India, Europe or Germany, and that they have to choose where they want to do it.
So I think there is a difference of approach between students, what sort of program they want to take up. If they want to take up English taught programs into public universities, right? So let's talk about the German track now. Talking about the German track, how can a student go for it? Is German required first hand in India, or the student will be studying there? What is the outlook about that?
So basically, before we answer this question, I think one thing which I want to add in the previous English track is that even if you're going for English track program, you need A1, A2. If you go online and if you start seeing the admission requirements, it's 6.0 IELTS, it is your 12th, it is your 13th year, and plus it is your German requirement as well. So A1 and A2 is kind of required these days by all the universities, right? Major of the universities. I'm talking about again public universities who are giving education in English language. Coming to German taught programs, students should have C1. So if you have C1, you can study in Germany, in German taught program. That's a very simple definition for anybody who thinks, I want to go to Germany, I want to study bachelor's, I want to do German track. So if you have somebody says B2, C1, they are confused about that. See, B2 is again, C1 is the better level, and some universities ask for C1. You can probably start with B2, but then you will struggle. Getting admission sometimes somewhere with B2 is a different thing. But if you do not have command over the language, how will you survive? So I always say, please prefer C1 is your minimum benchmark to study a bachelor degree in Germany in a German taught program. Now when I say German taught program and German language, please make it highlight this point. I am not going to negotiate or differentiate on the admission requirement. Admission requirement remains the same. It is just the German track or English track. So difference is that you just have to put 1 year in your education initially for language. You are doing 10 plus 2 from India, you are doing your 1 year bachelor degree program or a foundation program, and then you're going to bachelor degree program in Germany in English taught. So again I'm saying, the foundation or the bachelor for the pre-foundation, pre-bachelor year. You are still doing the same thing in German track. You have to do it. But before doing this, you have to do German language. So 10 plus 2 plus 1 year of German language plus the 13th year plus the bachelor's. So technically, language is 1 year, then second year and 3 years of bachelor's. So you have total 5 years. In English track, you only have 4 years, right? But the major difference is that when the student will finish the education in Germany, the German track student will have a very strong command over German language. They both have pros and cons. But the difference in admission requirement, there is no admission, there is no difference. There's only one difference. So people get confused very easily. German track, English track. It's only one difference that you have to do 1 year German language before you start your pre-bachelor program, right? In German track. In English track, there is no language. Of course, A1, A2 is there and you will do it from India itself because that is required for your admission, right? So now the question is, which one is better?
So if a student is about to begin their bachelor's journey in Germany and they thought, let me learn the language from here itself while doing my bachelor's first year, and then I'll take admission in a public university for the bachelor's level. Is that better, or going for the German track better? Which one sounds better to you?
See, again, different student will have different opinion and they both are different side of the coin. Definitely somebody is doing a BTech in India for 1 year. Same time he want to do C1 also. To me, it sounds a bit difficult. It's not impossible, it sounds difficult. So out of 10 students, how many can do the BTech first year and C1 also? No. So if you ask me C1, but there are people who have done it, right? But then they are very less students, so I cannot put them as a statistics. So out of 10 people, if one is doing it, what is the group statistic? It's 10%, right? So 10% students are able to do it, then those are the very special students. I can't say those statistics for everybody in India. So I pick up the statistics when the majority of Indian students, the major group lies. So the majority of the students cannot do it together. So the best thing would be, also if you do in India, see, go to German language institute, either private or government. That's the two options you have. So if you go to Goethe also, you will do a limited number of hours every day. You come out. When you come out of the classroom, so I'm giving a small example. In Connaught Place, you have a Goethe center. You go there, you do learn the language, you come out, and then you speak Hindi and English only, right? But when you go for a German track through German language learning in German track, where you actually have to learn German language in Germany, you actually practice for 4 hours for 5 days. So it's a 4-hour class. So anybody who's going for German track, the deal they have is 1 year of German language plus 1 year of foundation year plus 3 years of bachelor's. For the first year, they will spend 4 hours every week learning German language. They come out of the classroom or the building, they have to speak German on the road with the fellow passenger in the bus, in the canteen, in the cafeteria, in the building they live, their neighbors. Now imagine that learning that German language and practicing every day, every minute versus in India. I'm not saying you can't do it. There are multiple people who have done it. I'm sure the audience also, you might get comments, it's possible to do it in India, cheaper cost. Why should I pay for this? See, it's always, it's cheaper. So it's cheaper probably to learn, Hindi in Nigeria than in India. You find a Hindi teacher in Nigeria and he'll teach you. But after he's gone, how are you going to practice it? Provided you come to New Delhi, you live in New Delhi, you basically learn the 4 hours language, you come out, you talk to your auto wala, you talk to your bus driver, you talk to fellow people, and that language will be much, learning the language that way for a Nigerian student who want to learn Hindi would be easier. Similarly, to learn German for us, it's much better to go to Germany and learn there. Because it's not only the language you need to learn, you have to understand, it's the language and the culture. So for the first year, when you're spending this money, you are adjusting in the country, you're making friend circle, right? You are actually, because the people who have learned German language from India, when they land, they still have to do some more language courses, some levels as well, because I've seen there is a difference. 10 out of 10, I would say 8 people have to do 1 or 2 levels again. Because by the time they actually do the language and they go Germany, there's a gap. So let's say if you have to do C1, let's do practical calculations. For practical calculation, if you put C1 in India, you will take approximately minimum 1 to 1.5 years. Minimum. If you're taking in Germany 1 year, you will take at least 1.5 years minimum, or maybe 2 years also, right, to finish your C1. By the time you finish your C1, then you will apply for the bachelor degree programs. Now you got a C1, you apply for the bachelor degree programs, you're applying because your admission and visa process time itself is 6 months. So you have a gap of 6 months and you're doing no practice. So you will go down on your language skills because you have to practice it because you're not a native speaker. Right? Imagine if, sometimes I'm going to go to Punjab, to be very honest. If I stay there for 10 days and I come back to Delhi, I'm still in my Punjabi tone because I'm used to those 10 days I'm speaking only Punjabi with my students. My students are coming up, their parents are coming up and they're speaking Punjabi. So my 10 days are purely Punjabi and I come back and sometimes I'm saying it takes 1 or 2 days to retain my, my other languages, to my, go back, switch my languages. Similarly for German as well. So I think it will be much better for students if they go for German track program where they have to study 1 year in Germany, German language, and they pay for it, right? That's what you pay for. In German track, you pay for German language 1 year, and then you don't pay for your foundation year, and then you don't pay for your bachelor degree also. So your next the years are free of cost. In English track, you will pay for your first year of bachelor any which ways, either in India, either in European Union, either in Germany, that's up to you. And you will pay around about, even in India, you are there for good university, already charging you 3-4 lakh rupees. But if you go to Europe also, it will charge you 4 lakh rupees, in Estonia, Lithuania. But at least you have language command.
Now, when a student is going through an English track, the student has done their bachelor's first year here and then they're taking a direct admission. So student does know whether they are getting the admission or not. But when a student is about to go there, study their German in Germany, and they're doing their foundation year, do the students have any sort of guarantee about whether they'll be getting the admissions in the public universities or not? What say if a student completes German language and they complete the foundation year, after that is the student gonna get the admission or not? If the students ask that, what would be your take on that?
Okay, so basically when you go to Germany, without doing it, so you have to enter Germany, and if you have to get a bachelor degree admission, you have to write the exam papers. So let's say if you go for German track. So in German track, first thing is you will learn C1. Done. You have that's your first kind of clearance. You have done the C1 in 1 year. Let's say the second year, you're doing your freshman year or foundation year, what we say, and you're gonna finish that, and you have to pass it as well. Of course, if you don't pass it, how will you get admission? And so the student collegium entrance is basically based on different universities have over different places. So you can give multiple exams. You can give for TU Munich, you can give for TU, FH Aachen or all other universities. You can give it, and basis of your exam, you get admission. But the basic of giving exam is you need to learn German language. So if you're going to German track, your first is German language, second is your foundation year, you have to pass it, and the third is going to be your bachelor's. So of course, if you don't pass your first class, how can you go to second class? If you don't pass your 11th in India, you can go to 12th. It's that simple as that. So people think, that okay, what if I don't pass? What if you don't pass the BTech first year? You fail, you will have to repeat it, right? Okay, in India sometimes you have the backlog, so you can do it in the future also. But let's suppose in class 11th, if you fail, you can't go to class 12. Similarly, if you fail your C1 and you're not able to complete in 1 year, you will take 1.5 years. That's okay, but you have to complete it. If you don't complete it, you are not going to your foundation program. If you have completed your foundation program, you have to pass it. You have to clear the entrance, and then you go to the bachelor degree programs. Students who want to do medical MBBS, if they have less than 90% marks, they should not choose Germany as a study destination. Below 90% marks have absolutely no chances to get into German university for medical science. And I'm talking about German taught only. There is no English taught. So a lot of people come and ask me, can I get MBBS seat in Germany? I saw a lot of advertisement, on the websites. Less than 90%, don't even think of it. Because I know a lot of people who have gone there. They have been cancelled. Oh yes, you can get an admission. They have 80s, somebody even have 70s. Of course you can apply, but you will never get the seat. So it's like telling somebody, oh yes, it's possible, but actually in practical, it's not possible, right? If you talk to any university and ask them, I have got 75% marks in class 12, I'm going to finish my student collegium in Germany, and I'm planning to study MBBS, they will straight away tell you, you have zero chance. So less than 90%, even I would say 92%, go for two more safer side. And still there is a chance you might not get into the MBBS. But at least I only suggest those people who have 92, 93. Yes, you can think about studying in Germany MBBS in German taught program if you have these marks.
Alright. Now you talked about MBBS. What about other programs? Like if a student wants to take up a German track or an English track. So is there a benchmark of percentage they should be having for engineering courses or let's say business courses? What should a student expect? How should they prepare themselves in the 12th class to have a score to get admissions in bachelor's?
Other than medical programs, of course, students who have lesser percentage marks, 70, 60, from 60 to 90 also, they can apply. So if you have 60 to 65% marks or and above, you can apply for bachelor degree in German taught. Okay. Because the German taught program, the seats are much more than English taught programs, number one. There's much more availability of the options in terms of number of universities are also more. So basically anybody who has 65% marks and he wants to do engineering in German taught, yes, you can give him a guaranteed admission in German track. Somebody who has 60% marks, he wants to apply, he can apply, but the chances are less in an English track. But because they will see the first year of bachelor also, and they will see your marks in your 12th as well, and they will average it out. So that means that if you have 60% there, but you have 70% in your BTech first year, there is a chance of English track also. So I always recommend students to apply for English track and take a backup for German track. So if somebody says, I'm applying for English track and I don't want to take backup on German track, then you take a backup on the European track. So you go to European application also. So somebody who has a 65% marks and he thinks I want to go to Germany in English track and I've got the 13th year also, right, from India. Let's suppose somebody says I've got 12th class and I've got a BBA. I've got 12th commerce and a BBA degree, but I want to still do a bachelor in Germany. We will pick his first year bachelor's degree and we will also take his 12th and apply. But let's say his marks were good in, he has 60% marks in class 12 and 70% in BBA. When we make an application and he has 6.0 IELTS and he also have A2 level of German language, this person can actually apply. Chances are high because, as I already said, there are less students applying in English taught program because not many people actually drop out, right? So this is why I would say, but always take a backup. Always, we need to. If you are applying for English track, bachelor degree or master degree in Germany, always take a backup either in German track or in a European Union, in some university, because once you don't get the admission, you have invested around about 6 to 8 months, right? And when you get to know that you have a rejections, and then you start doing again, you will invest another 6 more months. So if you have a backup done already, second options, at least you can go for the second best option you have applied for. Otherwise, you have to do the entire thing again. The admission cycle has to go again, and the next semester you have to apply. So multiple application are strongly recommended for students who are applying for Germany, bachelor degree program, English taught programs, either bachelor's or master's.
So I think I've gathered a lot of information from you today. So I'm clear in my mind around English track and the German track. So I think we could conclude this conversation here itself, and let's just continue about this in part 3 of our video. More on the German taught, more on the English taught in public education, how students can get it.
Students, in the part 3, I will discuss about some 2 very important options for students who want to study in Germany, bachelor degrees. Part 3 will be about study in Germany, free education, guaranteed admission, English track. And this admission will be given by only one university. Today we have discussed about bachelor degree in Germany, German taught and English taught programs, admission requirements. The third one is going to be this very important podcast which we'll be releasing tomorrow. Study a bachelor degree in Germany in English taught program, and that too guaranteed admission. Yes, you can get guaranteed admission in Germany in an English taught program if you apply for a specific university, which we will be discussing tomorrow in our third series of podcasts.
Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.